and we have got the best of feedback, because transparency and accountability which brings down corrupt practices. So in this we have seen even RTI Act, he may issue the order. One of the participants, he produced an order which was 1 year old, and he said, I could not implement this. There is no power, and if there is no power, then why are you an RTI commissioner without power? So here many laws are there, good laws are there, but if that power is not given, if prosecution is not there, if proper investigation is not there, then punishment is not there. And now I am coming to this question which all other speakers had not taken, but you took, sir. That is prior sanction which is required. The Lokayukta bill, or the draft which is being made also or drafted, it automatically gives you the sanction. Of course you have quoted some
Lokpal bill.
Lokpal bill.
Not Lokayukta.
Lokpal bill. But here in for Lokayukta also, it should be given the powers to prosecute, because we can't run to Delhi or somewhere else. We need it here in Goa to prosecute. And as I said, prosecution, a law without investigation, without prosecution, and without some punishment is not effective at all. We can have hundreds of laws. Now I am coming to this police bill which is there. The police bill is of 1960, I think, no, 1860, 150 years old. Now, of course, whether it is in India or in Goa, we had colonials ruling over us. And the habit was the rulers and the ruled. Until today, we are in a democracy, and the habit is continuing. As soon as people are elected, or if they are public servants, they think they are the rulers, and the Aam Admi is the ruled one. And for that matter, even people, I have gone to the villages and I have seen, they feel that we were ruled here in Goa for 400 years, earlier Britishers were there, that they are the ruled ones. So what happens is that the whole thing about public servant is not understood by the public servants. First the government of India and government of Goa became the job provider for them. And when their salary was not enough, they said, why not put our hands under the table and collect more money? So the job provider, this concept or this understanding of public servant must be given properly to them, that they are there to serve the public. Same way, the elected representatives, once they are elected, they think that they don't have to report to the people, or people cannot ask anything. If democracy is of the people, by the people, and for the people, then the people have a right to ask. And we in Goa have a right. And I am asking, since our honorable dignitaries are here of the government also, that 50% participation should be given to the civic society, because you are making a law which is for the public servants. And if you are making the law for yourself, you will always put protection for your public servants. Like you said, that sanction is required. They will try to protect unless we are there. And what is justice about? Justice is about equality. So if that equality is not there, and if protection is given, I am saying like this, if public servants are corrupt, then the Lokayukta here in Goa should have some, like as you said, the separate police force for investigation, for prosecution, and even to send them to jail. Why not? Because if the Indian Penal Code is applicable to me as an Aam Admi, why should the Indian Penal Code not be applicable to the government servants? Like you have made a good comparison, sir. One goes with sanction, one goes without sanction. So here in Goa we need that. We have been taking a lot of programs, and I assure you that this prevention of corruption which is there in Lokayukta, we are taking it to the people. Our NGO is also taking it to the people. And my request is that public participation should be there whilst drafting this. So I think we have spoken enough, and I think it's time for lunch also. I thank you for the opportunity.
I think the main reason we are here to discuss and bring about a bill for the benefit of Goa is that these things don't happen rightfully in the place they are bound to happen, that is the assembly, because they are busy doing all other things except discussing bills. And that is why it is left up to us who are individuals and intellectuals and ready to contribute our part to society and the betterment of law that we are here today for a positive building of a law. We have discussed various aspects of both Lokayukta and Lokpal. But one thing that is very important, and I think it is there in the Karnataka Act as well as the Goa Act. We say that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. We are facing this problem today as regards corruption in the judiciary. And the same provision which prevents action from being taken against corrupt persons in the judiciary is very much present in the Lokayukta Act of Karnataka and Goa. That is with regard to removal of the Lokayukta and in both the Karnataka Act as well as Goa. Parliament also, the Constitution has made a provision where a corrupt judge cannot be removed unless there is 2/3 majority of persons voting. And the same is in section 7 of our Goa Act, which says that, Goa Bill, which says that Lokayukta or Lokayukta shall not be removed from his office except by an order of the governor passed after an address by the state legislative assembly supported by a majority of the total membership of the house and by a majority of not less than 2/3 of the members of the house present and voting has been presented to the governor in the same session for such removal on the ground of proved misbehavior or incapacity. Allowing polity and politics to interfere in the issue of removal of an authority having such power will never absolutely take place. We have never seen it in the past happen that polity will allow a situation of that 2/3 majority to come about for removal of a person even if he has been proved to be corrupt. There should be some mechanism that is generated by intellectual minds to find out what can be the other solution for this type of a situation. Another aspect which I have noticed in our act itself, our bill, is that whenever the recommendation is given for prosecution of a particular delinquent found to have committed the act, there is no time limit spelt out for the end of that prosecution. And we have seen that prosecution of all offenses that are economic in nature, which is the case over here, take years together. And if we want to, the general public ultimately wants to see a result. If they don't see a result, then they will feel that there is no teeth on which this bill or act is placed. These are the two major concerns according to me, because the others have been voiced by a lot of people. Today's the question is that are being asked by persons is who is corrupt and who isn't corrupt. But by asking these questions, we don't end up solving the problem of corruption. And therefore, as Justice Hegde pointed out, what is of utmost importance is that we start it. Nothing is perfect. No legislation is perfect. It will always have its own loopholes and negative aspects. But if you have the power to legislate, you have the power to correct such legislation. And therefore, we have to make a start and have something in place and have something in motion. It was said that in Goa, there are other states competing with Goa as regards corruption. But in Goa, the safety that the corrupt politician has at the moment is not there, I think, in any other state. Because we don't have the Public Men's Corruption Act in force, which was very quickly rescinded even before this bill was passed. And we have this act, Lokayukta Act, dwindling in the space. And therefore, there is no hope for a normal citizen to see that his grievances against his elected representative, who in collaboration with the corrupt bureaucrat is robbing the state of its valuable resources. It is with this in mind that I call upon the members of the Law Commission who are also present here, the chairperson of the Law Commission, to see that something is brought out as an emergent situation till such time as we bring out a concrete act to take care of these problems that the common man is facing. I think our MP, Mr. Shantaram Naik, spoke about the judiciary laying down law. But there are three facets of our constitution. There are three arms. That is the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive. If the legislature is not doing its job, then ultimately somebody has to step in to remind the legislators of their own duties. And nothing prevents the legislators from putting forth that law which they say the Supreme Court has wrongly created, to ratify it, create another law, or say that that law is correct and we give our legislative sanction to that law. They don't want to legislate, but they don't want others to tell them what they should do either. And that way, the common person suffers the most. Law is very dynamic. It changes every day. But we require like-minded legislators with that accountability to occupy the post, which our election system does not fortunately allow.
For lunch, and I thought it'll go.
Therefore, I end by saying that definitely we require the Goa Lokayukta Act, but legal minds can take into account the two issues that have been raised by me with regard to the bill that is before us, as regards the appointment and removal of the Lokayukta, as well as the time limit for the prosecution of these economic offences. Thank you.
During your presentation, you made a statement. If you get a proactive Lokayukta, that was a statement you made. And then your act is in force from the year 1985 until 86. Until Justice Venkatalachala came, it was unheard of. And 17 states have Lokayuktas. Nothing is heard of. We had a Public Men's Corruption Act. Nothing came out of it, though there is a demand to revive it. Not a single case went to its logical conclusion. Now, is it that we have to wait for that proactive Lokayukta? or are they not available?
They are available in dozens. The question is, when you go for one, you go for a soft one. One. Secondly, apart from Goa Act, which is not yet bill, which has not become an act, most of the acts are really like the Sarkari Lokpal bill. It only provides for a red light car and a residence for the Lokayukta with no power, and they are not interested in it either because it's a post-retirement job. If I am posted to Goa, I will go around all over the place and the beautiful places, the beaches in the Goa, and I go back after retirement.
My name is Mahesh Naik. I want to bring to the notice of this public here, with due respect, we want only one Lokayukt for road transport department only. Because in road transport department, nearly 60,000 vehicles are registered on fake residential proof. The parties are belonging to Karnataka, Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh. And they have registered the vehicle here by taking 10,000, 20,000. And this is very dangerous to the Goa state as far as SIMI and other terrorist organizations are concerned. They may use these vehicles for anti-social elements. So I brought this to the notice of the government. Under Right to Information Act, I got all those papers and brought to the notice of the government. And the funny thing is that instead of taking action, there is reaction on me. They have filed false cases on me, and the police, they have arrested me and they put behind the bars. And especially to Mr. Shantaram Naik, I would like to say that I have filed cases in Ponda, Kepe, Vasco and Marga on ITO officers for the last 6 to 8 months, and every alternate day I visit to the police station, but they are not ready to register the FIRs. And if the ITO officer, they are going to register FIRs on 7th, they are just putting me behind the bars on 8th. And today I am proud to say that I am on anticipatory bail. Why I am proud to say? Because in our assembly house there are ministers also, those who are on anticipatory bails. So instead of taking action, now see, what is to be done? If under Right to Information Act we get the documents and if we bring to the notice of vigilance department, what they say, we have to take prior permission from the vigilance secretary. From vigilance secretary it goes to chief secretary.
What is your question? Yes.
My question is that there is no law, rule, justice in Goa as far as this.
That's not a question. That's your expression of opinion.
It is reality.
And if anybody brings to the notice, they are putting them behind the bus.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Nag. Your point is...
Sir, I am Rajan Kagodkar. My question is, now from the civil society side for Lokpal bill, is it with retrospective effect or prospective?
It's only prospective. How can it be retrospective?
But that means all 2G and all is gone.
2G, this is already being investigated by the Supreme Court, by the JPC, the PAC. If there is any more CCs, then it will be there also.
No, we don't want people to be inside. We want that
Someone
one
to go now.
So we don't want them to be inside or outside. We want that 1,76,000 crores to be recovered.
No,
We are not interested in putting
there is an
anything.
investigation going on under the supervision of the Supreme Court, which has taken up the issue. Till 2 years, nothing happened. In the last couple of months, many things have happened.
But can't we make it retrospective?
How can you go back retrospective and investigate? Not possible.
And it's a parliamentary form. In fact, you have answered, but I have a fear. As rightly said, there are 3 organs. We have a judiciary, we have legislature, and we have executive. And as rightly been said by my advocate colleague, because the your legislators are not functioning properly, the judiciary has become super sensitive and they are entering into dominance. So there is a clash between the judiciary with the legislature, and executives are not performing also. Now there is an emergence of civil society. We have law commissions, we have different authorities for formation of laws. And in the civil society has come up to cooperate with the government to come with a nice piece of legislation. But my fear is here, because ultimately what prevails is a majority rules in a democracy. We have rowdy societies also. I am coming to the issues of Goa particularly, because it is a participatory democracy, even at the local level, we have got local self-governing bodies like Panchayat, Jila Parishad and all. There are Gram Sabhas which are the happenings. And in this Gram Sabhas, you have a rowdy people. And decisions are forced upon. by majority. So how you tackle this rowdy society in the contrast of the civil society, because civil society, though it is in majority, it's a silent society and they don't crop up and they don't have a say. So how we are going to, because we have a medium instruction issue in Goa today. So if a rowdy society prevails upon the civil society, how you tackle this rowdy society? Thank you.
I have no solution for this.
How about having delegates for every 100 people? We elect one delegate to the Gram Sabha.
And if he doesn't do it, then we become rowdies and hit them.
Then there will be rowdy delegates.
No, there is a need for change in the social values. We have been, Mr. Ramakrishna Hegde said he will give a value-based politics. So that let us all try to make a value-based society. Today, the major problem arises from the society itself, as was said, the fifth part of this thing. One of the main problems that I see is, when it comes to the question of corruption, you talk to most of the people, especially those in the middle class and others, they say, yes, everybody is corrupt. He is corrupt, he is corrupt, he is corrupt, he is corrupt, everybody is corrupt. What do you want to do about it? There's nothing I can do about it. Will you give bribe? If I have to get my work done, I'll give bribe. This attitude must totally change. I have been to 233 educational institutions only to tell them what is the true meaning of the word satisfaction, contentment, or in vernacular we use the word tripti. That which is derived from your legitimate wealth, not that which is derived from your illegal wealth. That is only temporary. You want to get more, there is no ceiling for that. If all can understand that we can be satisfied with our legitimate wealth, then we do not indulge in these things. We will not condone corruption. We will not condone injustice to people through maladministration. I think that's when the real change can take place. Any amount of law, any amount of enforcing agency, ipso facto will not bring about that. I have known of people, when I was young, my elders were saying, in my district there were at the most 5 corrupt people were there. Today, I, in my speeches, keep saying, yes, those 5 fingers are relevant, but to count the honest, that is the difference between 1950 and 2011. Why? At that point of time, I can assure you that if a person was even perceived to be corrupt by the society, he was not included in that society. They are not by force, but they used to avoid him. If he was coming in that road, he will take the other road. Today it is not like that. Today you would like to give your daughter in marriage to that family because he is a rich person, or vice versa. We have to change our attitude and try to, I would go to the extent of saying, boycott this corrupt. Let them not go to jail, you boycott them. See the change that you will have, the cascading effect it has on the persons, their family. Of course, suddenly you may find the legislatures empty, the administration forces empty, but that doesn't matter, you get somebody else to come and...
Lokapal, as people said that the people get frustrated because the things are, they don't get results, or it is things are delayed years together like. So in Lokapal, our bill, is there any provision for some time limit?
Yes, sir. There is a provision made that all investigations will be over within 6 months of the receipt of complaint. Then the trial will be over by another 6 months. Now, one of the major problems that you have is the insufficiency of courts. But the Lokpal institution has been empowered to direct the government concerned to create as many special courts as required for the time being only to dispose of the cases, so that all cases will be over within 6 months. One of the greatest disadvantages is once punishment is imminent, and quick, then it has a great psychological effect on others. Yes, sir. You, I'm asking you only.
आदरणीय हेगड़े जी, मैं प्रश्न नहीं विनती करना चाहता हूँ
जी।
जब स्वामी विवेकानंद ने रामकृष्ण मिशन की स्थापना करने का निर्णय लिया गरीबों की सेवा के लिए, तब उनके खुद के जो साथी सन्यासी थे सब डिस्टर्ब हो गए और सब बोलने लगे कि स्वामी जी आप ये क्या कर रहे हो, आपका काम है ध्यान करना, साधना करना, लोगों को उपदेश देना, और ये मिशन में कहाँ चले जा रहे हो। तब जो विवेकानंद ने उत्तर दिया वो बड़ा महत्वपूर्ण मुझे लगता है। उन्होंने कहा कि यदि जरूर पड़ी तो मैं कीचड़ में हाथ डालने से मैं नहीं डरूंगा, और नरक में जाना पड़े तो नरक में जाने की भी मेरी तैयारी है, लेकिन मैं रामकृष्ण मिशन के इस उद्देश्य से पीछे नहीं हटूंगा। इसलिए मेरी जो आपको विनंती है वो ये है कि हमारे आदरणीय शांताराम जी जैसे मीठी भाषा में आपको कहेंगे, तो अमर सिंह जैसे जोकर कड़वी भाषा में आपको कुछ कहेंगे, लेकिन अब इस देश को जरूरत है एक अच्छे लोकपाल बिल की, और आप जैसे लोग जरूरत पड़ने से एक स्टेप नीचे उतर के भी ऐसे लोगों के साथ भी बैठना जिसके साथ शायद आप न कभी बैठो, लेकिन उनके साथ बैठ के भी एक अच्छा लोकपाल बिल इस देश को जरूर देना। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद। आपका बात को मैं मानता हूं, मगर ये बात में सही नहीं है। इस भारत में सिर्फ एक संतोष हेगड़े है, सैकड़ों हैं, ढूंढना होगा, बस उतना ही।
Also, Honorable Speaker Pratap Singh Rane for being here with us. Just before going, Mr. Rane has suggested that we should take a collective decision and set a time limit for getting the Lokayukta in place in Goa. So I think all of us...
19 December.
Yes. Let's set a time limit that we should have the Lokayukta in place. And...
about the reviving the agreements commission, something has to be in place.
So I think we should, what we'll do is we'll write down these recommendations. We'll just make a little recommendation. Thank you all, and please join us for lunch.